Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, liebe Aktionärinnen und Aktionäre, auch ich begrüße Sie im Namen des gesamten Teams Bayer. Wir freuen uns über Ihre Teilnahme an unserer Hauptversammlung. Schön, dass Sie heute dabei sind. Es gibt viel zu besprechen. Deswegen kommen wir direkt zur Sache. Denn nicht nur bei Bayer ist einiges los, auch in der Welt insgesamt. Wir sehen jeden Tag, dass sich die Dinge sehr schnell verändern. Und dadurch stellen sich viele Fragen. Die wichtigsten Fragen für Bayer möchte ich heute beantworten. Wo stehen wir? Was kommt als nächstes? Und wie bewegen wir uns in einer Welt, die sich stark verändert? Das alles verlangt nach einer ehrlichen Analyse und nach einem klaren Plan. Wir arbeiten sehr hart an unseren strategischen Prioritäten und damit am Turnaround von Bayer. Denn unsere Mission ist es wert, dass wir alles geben. Für unsere Kunden, für Sie, liebe Aktionärinnen und Aktionäre, und für die mehr als 90.000 Kolleginnen und Kollegen bei Bayer. Kommen wir zur ersten Frage. Wie steht es um Bayer? Anfang des Monats habe ich mit unseren Betriebsräten in Deutschland genau diese Frage offen diskutiert. Denn bei Bayer gibt es kein lukewarm oder lauwarm auf Deutsch. Da ist auf der einen Seite all das, was wir für Gesundheit und Ernährung überall auf der Welt Tag für Tag voranbringen. Mit unseren Produkten und Services. Damit Landwirte mit ihren Ernten Menschen ernähren können. Damit die Erkältungssaison gut überstanden wird. Damit verheerende Krankheiten dank bahnbrechender Forschung eines Tages ihren Schrecken verlieren können. Zum Beispiel Parkinson. Noch in diesem Halbjahr planen wir, den ersten Patienten im Rahmen einer zulassungsrelevanten Phase 3 Zelltherapie-Studie zu behandeln. Bereits Anfang des Jahres startete eine klinische Phase 2-Studie zu einer neuartigen Gentherapie. Beide Programme wurden von der amerikanischen Gesundheitsbehörde FDA als Regenerative Medicine Advanced Therapies eingestuft. Kein anderes Unternehmen weltweit ist damit so weit vorangekommen wie wir. Wir sind zwar noch Jahre von einer möglichen Markteinführung entfernt, aber es besteht Hoffnung für Millionen von Patienten weltweit. Dafür kämpfen wir. Das sind einige der vielen positiven Aspekte. Doch wie Sie wissen, gibt es auf der anderen Seite auch Dinge, die uns stark belasten. Die Rechtsstreitigkeiten in den USA, die uns sehr viel Geld kosten und wie ein dunkler Schatten über uns liegen. Und auch die hohe Nettofinanzverschuldung. Diese ist zwar im vergangenen Jahr auf 32,6 Milliarden Euro gesunken, aber natürlich immer noch zu hoch. Auch Sie als Aktionäre spüren die Folgen. Die Unsicherheit drückt auf unseren Aktienkurs und die Dividende wurde im vergangenen Jahr auf das gesetzliche Minimum reduziert. Auch in diesem und im kommenden Jahr müssen wir Ihnen das so vorschlagen. Wir arbeiten mit Hochdruck daran, diese Hindernisse aus dem Weg zu räumen und Bayer wieder auf einen profitablen Wachstumskurs zu bringen. Dabei machen wir sehr gute Fortschritte. Es ist aber auch noch sehr viel zu tun. Eben kein lukewarm bei Bayer. To say it in my mother tongue, which I'll switch to now if you don't mind, you see this also reflected in our 24 results. We saw great progress in some areas and serious challenges in others. In November of 2024, we adjusted our full-year EBITDA guidance while confirming all other metrics. As a group, our results were in line with that revised outlook. Group sales grew 1% on a currency and portfolio-adjusted basis. Core earnings per share came in at €5.05. We generated 3.1 billion euros of free cash flow, exceeding our guidance. Breaking it down business by business, our pharmaceuticals division performed better than expected, partly compensating for earnings pressures in crop science and slower top-line development in consumer health. Let's continue with our financials, looking at our outlook for the current year. We've called 2025 the most difficult year of our turnaround. On a group level, we anticipate net sales roughly in line with and earnings and cash flow behind prior year. In pharmaceuticals, we're planning on net sales slightly below 2024, and we expect slight margin declines as the impact of the Xarelto patent loss accelerates. In consumer health, we're targeting growth that's largely in line with the market on an EBITDA margin before special items in the same corridor as 2024. In crop science, we anticipate a slow market recovery with earnings pressure from regulatory challenges and crop protection pricing, keeping margins at current levels. As we communicated in March, we anticipate year-over-year sales declines in crop science in Q1. The pressures on our 2024 financial performance upped the stakes for our strategic priorities. We made progress on each in 2024, and in 2025, we see the opportunity to take additional steps forward. I'll go through them one by one, highlighting where we stand and what's next this year. First, we've made rapid progress on our pharmaceutical pipeline. Allow me to sort of zoom out and reflect on how far we've come. In November of 2023, the Oceanic AF study for asundexian was halted on short notice due to inferior efficacy. Sometimes the harsh truth of being an innovation-driven company is that you pursue a potentially life-changing treatment and it doesn't materialize. Our scientists know this, but it doesn't deter them because that harsh truth has a beautiful flip side. In less than 2 years, our team has advanced or completed more than 25 clinical trials. Since November of 23, we've announced 9 positive phase 3 readouts. Those milestones are made possible by the passion, the expertise, and dedication of tens of thousands of Bayer people. And they're making a difference for millions of men suffering from prostate cancer, women coping with menopause symptoms, and many more. In 2025, we're launching 2 new molecules and 2 new indications. Just 3 weeks ago, less than 10 kilometers from our headquarters here in Leverkusen, the first patient was treated with Beyantra, a cardiology medicine we've in-licensed to treat a fatal heart condition. Elinzanetant, our non-hormonal treatment for menopause symptoms, will launch in key markets, including the United States, in the second half of this year. And we expect new indications behind Kerendia and Nubeqa to help propel these 2 medicines to cumulatively more than 2.5 billion euros in sales this year. Well, this is all very encouraging, but we also have considerable headwinds to overcome. In 2025 alone, we expect between 1 and 1.5 billion euros of impact due to Xarelto patent expiries. But our momentum is trending in the right direction, and I hope you see a new picture emerging, a rejuvenated pipeline, an improving growth trajectory for our business, and meaningful progress for patients around the world. So now on to our next focus area. We have committed to significantly containing litigation by the end of 2026, and we press on toward that goal. In PCB litigation, we await an important decision on the Sky Valley Education Center cases by the Washington Supreme Court. Regarding glyphosate litigation, We maintain a winning record in trial, but we also recognize that adverse verdicts are part of the system, and the approach can't be limited to the courtroom. We continue to defend ourselves vigorously in court, and we're appealing all adverse verdicts. We expect continued success in minimizing damages on appeal, having reduced prior damages by up to 90%. But given the dimension of this issue, we're pursuing a multi-pronged strategy. First, in the courtroom, we believe the critical issue of whether or not U.S. federal law preempts failure to warn claims in individual states should have its day in front of the United States highest court. 3 weeks ago, we filed a petition with the U.S. Supreme Court to review this question, and we hope to soon learn if the court will accept the case. Outside the courtroom, U.S. farmers deserve regulatory clarity, particularly when it comes to pesticide labeling. We're making this case to lawmakers, and we appreciate the bipartisan support we see. We welcome developments like the recent passage of important legislation in 2 states. 2 days ago in North Dakota, a bill was signed into law that reaffirms the authority of regulators. A similar bill was passed in Georgia, which awaits the signature of the governor. We hope other states will follow their lead. Beyond these paths, we're considering all available options to bring resolution to this critical issue. This includes settlements that meet specific criteria and other measures to protect the company. The status quo is not an option, and the stakes are really high for us and for U.S. farmers. In fact, we're nearing a point where the litigation industry could force us to even stop selling this vital product. And that's not something that we want to do, but we need to be prepared for all outcomes. In March, I said to expect significant steps toward containment this year. The Supreme Court filing represents one, but there's certainly much more happening in this space. Our next priority topic, cash and deleveraging, is closely connected to our efforts to contain the litigation threat. In it, I'd like to address one important resolution we are asking you to vote on. It relates to our authorized capital. Specifically, we're seeking your approval for a potential increase of capital by up to 35%. Let me first explain some background for this measure. First, why are we asking for it? We currently have no specific plans to make use of the authorized capital, but the capital authorization would give us important flexibility in containing litigation while maintaining a credit rating at an appropriate level. We feel strongly that this is in shareholder interests, and under German law, it's necessary to seek shareholder approval to issue capital. Second, how would we use it? If we were to act on it, we would only do so in connection with measures to substantially contain litigation in the U.S., and only after first considering other financing options. To be clear, the capital would not be used to fund external growth opportunities such as M&A. And the 35% we are seeking approval for is the maximum we would pursue, with subscription rights available to all shareholders. We put this resolution forward carefully based on shareholder feedback. We commit to stewarding capital in the company's best financial interests and being transparent with you in our decisions on capital. Our next topic has to do with crop science profitability. The crop protection market has seen a sharp decline, with more and more generics flooding the market from Asia. This, coupled with increasing production costs in Europe, has strained margins in our crop protection business to the extent that several of our products are both dilutive to our margins and no longer competitive with generics in the market. Our crop science team has a far-reaching 5-year plan, which includes focusing our portfolio and getting the most out of our pipeline. They will share more when we communicate our Q1 results on May 13th. For now, I would like to reiterate our midterm ambition for the crop science business. We're targeting above-market growth, including more than 3.5 billion euros of incremental sales from innovation and an EBITDA margin improvement before special items to the mid-20s by 2029. Our final focus area is fighting bureaucracy. Less than 2 years ago, Bayer's organization was designed, like most large multinational companies, with up to 12 layers of hierarchy and resources tied up in dedicated cost centers and annual budgets. Today, the picture looks quite different. Our organization is considerably smaller. We have some 10,000 positions less overall. We've reduced the number of management positions by approximately 50%. Today, 90% of the organization is spread across 6 or 7 layers, with some major units as flat as only 3. The number of people assigned to a single manager has more than doubled on average. Some leaders have more than 80 direct reports. I don't think I need to tell you that these changes add up to a radical recalibration of our company's approach. Is everything perfect? No. Nothing is as simple as snapping your fingers, reorganizing, and claiming victory. But our teams are figuring it out, and many are seeing great results. Nubeqa and Kerendia, 2 of our major launches, with new indications hitting the market this year, each grew more than 70% last year. They did that because the decisions on how to invest and what to prioritize have moved to the teams doing the work. Our crop science small molecules development team is moving from a static organization with 4 to 5 employees per manager to a dynamic unit of self-organizing teams with resources flowing to the highest impact innovation projects. Our consumer health sales team in China is another great example. Traditionally, the sales team's responsibilities are grouped into hyper-specific customer segments with clear top-down targets on whom to spend time with and how to spend budgets. Our team flipped that approach on its head. They gave the sales teams accountability for a larger area, on average 3 to 5 times as large, with no fixed budgets and full transparency on sales, cost, and what's working for their peers. Essentially, they made the sales reps the general managers of their work. Instead of top-down controls, the people closest to our customers got to decide how to invest their time and resources. The result? Our people were significantly more productive. We broke some of our own single-day sales records, and in a declining market, our business grew. More transparency, less micromanagement, more ownership, and better results. As a group in 2025, we're planning on expanding that power to more Bayer people and generating 800 million euros of savings toward our 2026 goal of 2 billion euros in organizational savings. At this point, I'd like to say a thank you to my colleagues at Team Bayer, both around the world and the employee representatives who oversee my work on our supervisory board. We kicked off this work less than 2 years ago. Along the way, we've had challenging, open conversations and enacted decisions that were painful at the time. We're on a journey to give every person at Bayer more co-determination over the mission of the company. And our continued partnership will be crucial as we navigate the market shifts that I mentioned in agriculture and the other challenges in 2025. Dear shareholders, customers, and stakeholders of Bayer, I hope this gives you a sense of what's next at Bayer. We're in the midst of a challenging 2025. We've made no secret of that. But our businesses, they know what they need to do to compete. And we see an improved trajectory for our company in 2026 with healthy growth contributions from innovation in 2027 and onwards. Crop science has numerous blockbusters on deck. We're building momentum in pharmaceuticals, and we plan to return to growth as of 2027. And consumer health has a plan to grow with a focus on volumes toward or even beyond 1 billion consumers. Well, those are the big and exciting prospects we're working towards in each of our businesses. And we're dialed in on 5 clear priorities that we know will create long-term value. Fueling growth with new and existing pharmaceutical launches, taking steps toward containing litigation, generating cash, making decisions to improve midterm profitability at Crop Science, and creating a lean, highly productive organization that is totally focused on the mission. Between everyday health medicines like allergy drugs, life-saving cancer treatments, or high-quality seed, crop protection and digital tools that help farmers secure a healthy harvest, billions of people depend on the work that the 90,000 people of Bayer do every day. Well, I say that because these are turbulent times. The old world order is shifting, and it's not quite clear what the new one will look like. Moments like this can be unsettling. They can also be opportunities for clear values and leadership. In the first 4 months of 2025, I've met with farmers, investors, colleagues, and others in Germany, the United States, China, and elsewhere. I've heard from people who have a family member suffering from Parkinson's, from farmers whose harvests feed neighboring villages, and farmers whose harvests are exported around the world. I met with more than 100 Bayer people who are getting our new maize seed production site up and running in Zambia. 90% of them moved their families more than 2 hours away from the nearest city to help a region that's still recovering from drought turn into the maize-growing hub for nearly 7 million farmers in sub-Saharan Africa. Each one of these encounters instilled something about the nature of our work. It's fundamental. At kitchen tables, in medicine cabinets, and hospital beds. As a new world order emerges and new agreements are made, we ask political leaders to recognize the importance of basic needs like health and nutrition, to incentivize and support innovation, and to keep barriers to a minimum. We're carefully monitoring ongoing developments, and we're making preparations on behalf of the patients, farmers, and consumers that we serve. To close, I'd like to thank you for your attention and your interest in what's going on in our company. There is no lukewarm at Bayer right now. No shortage of great opportunities and serious challenges. But our team has the right focus and the right plan. Team Bayer is all in, and we're totally up to the task.